We in America are immigrants, or the children of immigrants. We are one people, but a people welded from many nations and races. People who came to America during a vast migration from Europe to other parts of the world. In this migration, millions of Europeans left their homelands to settle in new countries across the seas. Almost two-thirds of them came to the United States. When we became a nation, our population numbered just under 4 million. Each symbol here represents 500,000 people. Most of our people were of British origin, but there were also Dutch and many Germans, as well as French, Spanish, a great many Negroes, and others. The era of the Great Migration from Europe began about 1820. During the following 70 years, immigrants came from Western and Northern Europe in growing numbers. The earliest waves brought people from Ireland and Great Britain. The flow of immigration reached its peak between 1891 and 1920. During these years, a tremendous movement set in from the countries of Southern and Eastern Europe. Many still came from the North and West, but many more came from Austria-Hungary, Poland, Russia, Italy, and the Balkan Peninsula. But what of the people behind these symbols? What were their motives and hopes? Oh, mainly to enrich a landlord. For peasants like these, there is hope of a better life in America across the sea. And there are those who have known at firsthand the political oppression of autocratic governments. Governments that deal swiftly and ruthlessly with those who dare to champion political liberty and freedom of expression. To the man deprived of civil rights in his native land, America offers the hope of freedom. And then there are families like this, who have suffered a religious persecution that could drive them from their homes and scorn their right to worship in their own manner. For such as these, there is the promise of religious freedom in immigration to America. These and millions of others like them make up the Great Migration. Millions of every nation and calling, drawn together by their vision of America, a vision of land, opportunity, and freedom. These face the long ocean voyage. Then, immigration gateways like Ellis Island and examination immigration officials. Here, at the turn of the century, almost all Europeans enter freely, except undesirables such as criminals. For all mules, there is a medical examination to weed out those with serious illnesses and dangerous diseases. Many are rejected. Most of the immigrants that came after 1890 went into the factories and found their homes in the tenements of America's growing cities. The crowded slums became America's melting pot. Sprawling communities of transplanted peoples, living side by side, but still diverse in languages and customs, as diverse as these shop signs that mark the immigrant neighborhoods. 1924, a law was passed to restrict immigration from countries outside the Western Hemisphere. By this law, the number to be admitted henceforth was to be in proportion to the national origin of our country's population. This gave to Northern and Western Europe more than 80% of the total, while Southern and Eastern Europe received less than 20%. After 1924, immigration from Europe dwindled and virtually stopped during the Depression of the 1930s. But immigration from our American neighbors went on. A century of immigration has brought in many people from Canada, and more recently, there has been a lively migration from Mexico, as well as from the Caribbean area.
Is your destination the United States of America? If so, this brief video will explain new visa policies and procedures for visitors to the United States, a nation with secure borders and open doors. Today, as in the past, the United States welcomes visitors from around the world. Many travelers must have a visa to enter the United States. As you plan your trip, whether your journey is for business or pleasure, we want you to be aware of changes in visa policies that may affect your travel. These changes enhance our ability to verify the identity of the millions of legitimate visitors we welcome each year. To apply for a visa, you must complete an application, and in most cases be interviewed at the United States Embassy or consulate in your country. In most cases, you must provide information demonstrating that you intend to return to your country at the end of your visit. Stricter security measures require that your application undergo a more thorough inspection than in the past. At your interview, your 2 index fingers will be scanned by a special inkless digital scanner. Your left index finger, then your right index finger. Your left index finger, then your right index finger. Your left index finger, then your right index finger. Your left index finger, then your right index finger.